Speaking of a conference in the South, let's go to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Says the ACC will wait changes to its title game. Commissioner says. Adrian Allison for ESPN. Thank you for this article. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips said Sunday that the league will have conversations amongst coaches and athletic directors about whether to make changes to its conference championship format. The conversations are a result of the expanded 12-team playoff and ensuring conference champions and the teams that play in conference championship games remained important. The past season, SMU entered the ACC Championship game as the regular season champion, but lost to Clemson in the ACC title game and had to sweat it out before selection day before earning a spot in the 12-team field, which they did, but ultimately got trounced by Penn State because they had to go to Happy Valley. Phillips said the ACC could consider giving its regular season champion a bye and have the teams that finish second or third in the league standings play in the ACC Championship game, which is dumb as hell. Secondly, he also added a possibility of having the top four teams play on the final week of the regular season. First place going against fourth place, second place going against third place, and with the winners of those two games meeting the following week in the ACC Championship game. Phillips also said that he will have conversations with the league's head coaches on a conference call next week to get their feedback on a plan, specifically pointing to the comments SMU coach Wyatt Lashley made leading up to the game, in which he indicated that the Mustangs might be better off not playing to protect a spot in the field. Now that I just read all that, first and foremost, that first option, giving your regular season champion the final week off, that is the dumbest thing I ever heard. What's the point of making this schedule if not all your teams going to play the same amount of games? That's stupid. Everybody in the ACC play the same amount of games. So your regular season champion ain't gonna get a game off, and your second and third place team fight for the ACC championship. That is dumb as hell. See, this is the problem. This is another problem with the NCAA. The NCAA doesn't take charge over these conferences. They let each conference act like it's own independent, and you get stupid ideas like that. Oh, our regular season champion gets the week off, and the other two teams that finish second and third, they'll play in the ACC championship game down in Charlotte. That is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. What the hell is that? You got 12 teams in the playoffs, and now these conferences don't know how to act. Oh, here's the other possibility. Your top four teams duke it out in the final week of the regular season, which means whoever's in first place would take on a fourth place team, and whoever's in second place take on a third place team. And the winners will play, and the winners of both of those games will go to the ACC Championship game the following week. What if you had a scenario like you did this year? Clearly, SMU clinched their spot, and you had to see if Miami could beat Syracuse. And Clemson didn't matter because they in their season in their in-state rivalry with South Carolina. But you needed to see Miami and see if Miami can go on the road and beat Syracuse, which they didn't, which is the reason why Clemson got in. Don't start making these dumb changes. Miami didn't handle their business. That's why they didn't make the ACC Championship game. That's why they didn't have a shot to make the 12-team playoffs. SMU barely got in because they came back and lost on the last-second field goal. Performances on the field matter. If Clemson would have continued to boat race them, SMU wouldn't have got in. And that would have been plain simple. You know why? Your dumbasses didn't show up in the biggest game of the season thus far. But you made a comeback, and it's the reason why you got in. Your performance matters. When you step on that gridiron field, when you step between those lines, whether it is in Dallas, whether it's in Charlotte, whether it's in Clemson, Florida State, whether it's in Miami, it don't matter. When you step between the lines, you better put your best foot forward because your performance matters. Does not change things up. ACC deal with it. You're not as big as the Southeastern Conference. You're not as big as the Big Ten Conference. But yet and still, you got two teams in. You got SMU in, and you got Clemson in. Guess what? Both of your teams got beat in the first round. You know why? Because they didn't show up. How about making your conference better? If you want to be respected, make your conference better. You gotta respect the Big Ten. They got back-to-back national champions now. You definitely respect the ACC because the ACC was dominating for the time being until these last 2 years. It's been all ACC for the most part. The Big 12, you can flip flop between the Big 12 and the ACC. Which one you want to put third and the other one fourth? You don't hear them crying about making changes to the Big 12 championship game. Or because Arizona State came from last to first all of a sudden and they beat Iowa State and we couldn't see Coach Brown and Colorado in there. And then, no. The Big 12 got one team in. They happy with that. Unfortunately, they got beat by Texas, a former Big 12 team, and they kept it moving. But the ACC want to be. I'm not going to say it. But the ACC, get it together, please.